I want to start at the outset just thanking the member for Caldwell for bringing this motion before the House today. You can tell from many of the contributions the depth of concern that is rightly being reflected in the House of Representatives today, and I think it's very fitting on our first day back in Parliament that this is a topic we're debating. I'd also just like to frame my comments today based on a visit I made last November to Cox's Bazar, where I accompanied the CEO of Oxfam, Dr Helen Sosky, and the CEO of Care Australia, Sally Moyle, and their respective teams to really try to get to understand firsthand the situation that was facing Rohingya refugees fleeing the North Rakhine State across to Bangladesh. And, Deputy Speaker, whilst intellectually I thought I was prepared for that visit and had done my reading and talked to as many people as I could, absolutely nothing could have prepared me for the sight of Cox's Bazar. To describe this as the fastest growing humanitarian crisis really, whilst a matter of fact, does little to really portray the situation in Bangladesh right now. And I would like to say right up front, just to send the most sincere thanks to the Bangladeshi government, who have, notwithstanding the very poor nature of their own country and the struggles of their own people, have just displayed the most extraordinarily generous spirit when it comes to providing a safe haven for Rohingya people fleeing persecution and violence from North Rakhine State. I had the real pleasure of meeting with many women parliamentarians whilst I was in Bangladesh. I was able to send my personal thanks for their generosity. I mean, at a time when many member states in the world are actually pulling the drawbridges up in their communities and closing borders, this has not been the approach of the Bangladeshi government. And as I said, notwithstanding the fact that they have their own deep challenges of looking after their own citizens, they have not ever blinked or even contemplated the possibility of not providing safe haven and assistance for the Rohingya refugees. So enormous thanks and enormous gratitude that we owe the Bangladeshi government. So every ounce of support that the Australian government can provide to the government, to the humanitarian actors who are all there, thankfully in large numbers in the Cox's Bazar, to ensure that there is some emergency aid being delivered to the men, women and children in those camps. The role they play is so essential, and like my colleagues before me, I absolutely encourage Australians to donate, contribute in any way they can to that appeal. It's not, I think, unlike many natural disaster appeals, a lot of people struggle to understand what is happening in this particular situation. And so I don't think we've seen the usual generosity that we normally see from Australians and indeed other nations around the world to provide some additional financial assistance. So, I thank the Australian government for the contribution we have made there, but it is a drop in the ocean. And I don't think we should kid ourselves otherwise. Certainly the notion that there would be repatriations anytime soon, from my discussions with people in those camps, without some assurances that there would be safe places for them to return, that they would actually be able to return to their ancestral lands and villages, not some so-called temporary camp closed off somewhere, is absolutely vital, not to mention the question of citizenship, which remains core to the issues of people's needs to be redressed. Thank you.